Well, hi there viewers, Princess Strawberry here. So in today's video, I'm going to be sanding down and repainting my bench. So this is a little bench, also a little stool. So I made this in high school, and I already sanded this down and painted it once, but some of it is chipped. Like right here, you can see. Not very well, but... And right here, you can see there's a little chipped off piece. So I'm going to be sanding it down, not the whole bench, just little bits and pieces that I can try and sand down. So I got the sandpaper. So I'm going to be opening this. So we only need a sheet. So this is a pretty big sheet, so we're going to fold this in half. And fold it in half again. That's not even. Set this aside. Gonna need my ruler here to help me out. So I'm gonna make this even as possible. Use my ruler. Like that. I'm gonna fold it again. And this will create 4 sheets. Like this. And I need my scissors. We're gonna cut this in half. So that has 2 sheets, set one aside. Now this, I'm going to cut in half again. Also, I did use a blank shower curtain. This is what this is, to protect my surface, because this is technically my kitchen table. And I don't want paint and everything all over it. So I'm going to put my ruler back so I know where I put it. I'm going to put my scissors back so I know where I put those. Now I'm going to start sanding down my bench. Like I said, not all of it, just a good chunk of it. And then I'm going to repaint it. I have this paint can right here, pretty dark brown paint. I don't have any other way to open the can, so I'm going to be using the end of this hammer. And then to close it, I'll be using this end. I got some paint brushes here, so we'll get to that after. So I've already started sanding down this arm because there is a big chunk missing right here. So I'm going to sand this arm down. Also, I have my window open behind me, if you guys can see, to let in some fresh air and to help the paint dry when I do start painting. I'm probably going to leave the window open overnight so that the bench can dry completely. But I'm going to be doing bits and pieces at a time. The easiest way to do this is I'm probably going to paint with it upside down first and paint the sides. And then let it dry overnight, and then tomorrow morning I'll most likely paint the top. There's probably going to be a part 2 to this video, just so you know. Oh, this smells like woodworking class. I was in woodworking, that's where I made this bench. So that's going to make that nice and smooth, and that one edge, I'm just going to do it like this. Now we're not going to get this completely perfect, but so now there's a piece chipped right here. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm talking about. There's a little, maybe this would be better. There you go. You guys can see the little chip piece in the corner there. That's going to be a little tricky to get. So if I can, I'll try and take that piece out, if I possibly can. Maybe. Give me a second. So there we go. I was able to get that little piece out. Now there's like a hole in there. That's where the screw is. So if you guys can see. So there's some pieces of wood right there. Now I'm going to try my best to sand that piece down. That's actually the screw that's holding the leg on. So if you guys can see, it looks like a little mouse hole. So I'm going to try my best to sand this area. No promises. Like I said, it's not going to be perfect. I don't want any sharp edges. I'm going to have to do the same on this side. Pull the little piece up. So right there, there's a little piece missing now because that's where the screw is. So it's going to be difficult to sand here, but anyway. So just like that. So there we go. Oh. I'm so glad I'm wearing a tank top. I really don't care what gets on it. I should be wearing my paint shirt, so I'll be right back. So I am back. I got my paint shirt on. As you guys can tell, there's like paint everywhere on my elbows. There. Don't ask how I got paint there. And there's even a hood. So I also made sure I put my hair up for this. So right now, I opened the can of paint. So this is the color it is. It's brown. I'm going to put a little bit in this paint tray. If you guys can see, I even got paint rollers. I'm going to be using a paintbrush though. I'm going to be saving the paint rollers for when I paint my apartment. So that packaging can go over there. So yeah, these are the two paint rollers this little set came with, but those I'm going to save. Here is the little miniature paint tray. So it's actually pretty cool. So I'm going to pour a little bit of paint in. Just a little bit because we don't need a lot for this bench. You know, I'm going to move that away from the edge. That would be safe. Just a little bit of paint. Now, right off the bat, put the lid back on the paint can, and I'm going to close this because I don't want the paint drying out. So I got my trusty hammer here, and we're going to close up the paint can. Put your fingers in the middle. It's closed, it's sealed. Yeah, there's some paint dripping down the side. That's why I'm going to leave that out to dry. I'll set my sandpaper aside. So we got my paint in the paint tray. And I sanded down this already. It's already sanded down. I even got my initials right there. SR. But that's going to be painted over. So now I'm going to open up my paint brushes. And I'm thinking I'm going to go with the first one. Just because I can. Now, right after you do painting, it'd be very wise, I'm telling you this now, to wash off your paintbrushes. Don't leave them laying out. If you, oh, I got paint all over my hands. This is why we're wearing my paint shirt. I don't care what gets on this. Okay. Take off the excess, and we're going to start painting. Now, like I said, there's probably most likely going to be a part 2 to this video because I'm not going to get the whole bench painted in one day. So, and I might have to do 2 coats of this. I might have to wait a bit, let it dry. I'm just going to simply paint. This paint is too dark to use for my apartment anyway. We're only allowed to use light colors like light brown, blue, white. You get the idea. This is dark brown, so we can't use this in my apartment. So I decided, oh well, I don't want it to go to waste, so I can use some of it for this. To repaint this and make it look nice. So there we go, let that dry. I'm going to paint this piece right here. Like I said, I wasn't going to sand down the whole bench because it's not the whole bench that's chipped, it's just bits and pieces. If you hear drip drops, it's because it's like pouring outside. It is April. April showers bring May flowers. Also, Mother's Day is coming up, so maybe you might want to get your mother a good gift. I can make some suggestions. Flowers, her favorite, maybe some jewelry. Make her something. Mothers always love homemade gifts. Trust me, at least my grandma does. Even I get my grandma stuff for Mother's Day too. My grandma loves homemade gifts. If I make her a card, and it's the thought that counts. It's not how much money you spend on the gift, it's the thought that counts. So right now, I am going to turn this around so you guys can see that I am painting the other side. I'm doing pieces at a time. I'm not rushing. I am taking my time. Whatever paint I don't use, I can try and pour back into the can and then wash off the tray. I'm most likely gonna have to do 2 coats because it's like when you do your nails and you use nail polish. Some nail polish, it's so light and thin that you have to do in a second layer just to make it better. I'm gonna do this. Top, the bottom of the legs. This is like a chocolatey brown, come to think of it. So as you guys can see, I'm almost done painting my bench, or at least the bottom part anyway. The top part's probably going to be the most easiest. Now if I want this paint to stay on forever and ever, I could do 2 options. I think there's a kind of paint that it's like clear coat paint that you just put on top. Or there's something called Mod Podge, and it's like kind of like paint that you just paint on top and it'll make the paint last forever and ever. But in my case, I'm not worried if this chips off because it's going to be used for the house anyway. Oh, we're dripping here. So hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm just kind of making sure it's not dripping like everywhere. That's why I have a thing, this shower, like it's pretty much a blank shower curtain. Didn't have any other use for it, so I'm like, hey, use it for when I'm painting. Because painting doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just pretty much touching this up because it's been 4 years pretty much since I made this bench, and it is getting old, so. And chipping away the wood, and then now it just makes it look nicer. And this video has been suggested by myself this time. I know you guys usually make suggestions in the comments below, or you guys message me on my Facebook page. I will leave the links to all my social media sites in the description below. Lately, you guys have been blowing up my Snapchat, adding me constantly, which I love it. I love talking to you guys. I love updating my Snapchat with my activities that I do throughout the day. Some stuff, though, I just keep personal. I don't Snapchat about, but okay, so because this paint dries really fast, I didn't realize it dried that fast. I guess I'm putting the second layer on now. I might actually be able to get this done. Just covering up my name, my little initial that I did. You can still see it. It's not going to disappear. It's always going to be there, but I guess I can put the second layer on now. So I decided to do something different. Now I did like kind of like a hardware type video before where I was fixing stairs. That was just a short video though. This time I'm actually painting a bench. I sanded it down a little bit and now I'm going to repaint it, let it dry, and possibly in part 2 I'm going to be doing the top part of the bench. This is more or less the bottom part and the legs. Now this is why I'm wearing a paint shirt, because I'm leaning over and I'm most likely going to get paint on my shirt, which is fine. Oh, see right there. Exactly why I'm glad I put my paint shirt on, because I don't care what gets on it. And if I ever wash the shirt, I have to wash it separately from my clothes. And I usually wash it by hand, because there's no sense, because here where I live, I have to pay $2 to wash and $2 to dry, so it'd be no sense in just washing the shirt. So I can just wash it by hand later. Here's a nice big hint for you guys. When you guys are painting, go in one direction only, because if you're going all over the place, it's not going to look nice. I took woodworking shop. It was actually fun. I liked it. Just going over one more time, making sure I got every nook and cranny. I call it nook and cranny. So, just making sure I get everything. It's kind of hard to get in the corners, but anyway. Oh, I missed a spot. Look at this. This is why you take your time and don't rush when you're doing stuff like this. It's like a work of art. Even artists, they don't rush at their paint jobs. They don't rush what they're making or their creations. They take their time. It's not a race. Like the hare and the tortoise story, I was surprised the tortoise, he took his time and he won the race. So you never know what's going to happen. And because like right now, I'm going around the edges near the bottom. I'm so glad I protected my surface. Because I'm getting paint on everything. Now I'm going to leave this bench to dry completely. Going to wash off my paintbrush. Dump the rest of my extra paint back in the can. And probably just going to let this sit. And I got to wear this for a little bit because there's paint on it. Like there's some paint here. There's some under my arm. So if you guys like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm definitely doing a part 2 because I'm going to be doing the top part. So anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.